Guys, welcome back to the channel. Nate here with Murray Farm and Ranch. It's a beautiful, feels like spring day here in Oklahoma. It's about 70 degrees. We got a little shower last night and sun is shining, grass is growing. Got cows back here behind me that are enjoying the green grass. Today we are trying to put some of the finishing touches on. Let me get the sun. There we go, kind of. Trying to put some of the finishing touches on our well house. As most of you know, we received a grant from the NRCS for a water well, and that's kind of been my big project over the winter. Is getting everything done, getting the well drilled, getting the electricity ran, getting the pad poured, getting the building completed, and so on and so forth. So I wanted to give you guys an update today, kind of show you where we're at in the whole scheme of things. Sorry about the wind, guys, but here's the front of the building. So this door came off of our house. Actually, we upgraded to a really nice wood door, and so I took this door off and I painted it and got it nice and cleaned up, and it's going on the well house. So the front has got some tar paper on it right now. Right there, that's going to be rock. Get out of the wind. The rest of the house is a cedar board and batten style. Looks really nice. So these are 1x6 or 1x8 boards, and then they've got a board and batten finish. So the building itself looks really good. I've still got to finish the roof. I've got to put metal on the roof, and then we've got to rock the front, and the exterior will be complete. Part of the reason that we chose to drill the well right here is that we're in very close proximity to the electric meter. So let's see, we're just a few feet away, and so what we did is we made sure that we were clear of all the lines, and then we had them dig the well, and so I was able to run the electricity fairly cheaply. I did all this work myself. Tied in here to the main breaker. I chose to run a 100 amp wire. Now that is way more than you need to. It's coming in the building here. Drop in through that into our breaker panel, which is right here. So I chose, like I said, to run a 100 amp main. That is way more electricity than what you need. One of these little wells, it definitely will require a 30 amp breaker and 230 volts, 240 volts. So what you would absolutely have to have is this double pole 30 here. But I wanted to put a couple plug-ins, I wanted a light, I wanted to be able to run a little heater, and I always like to have extra availability for electricity just in case I want to upgrade something. So I want to show you guys the electricity first. So as I showed you, you're gonna have to have you're gonna have to have this double pole 30, and that's gonna supply your pump. And so what I did is behind the wall here, I dropped the line down, comes down, it pops out of the wall here in conduit, makes a 90, comes out and goes into the pressure switch. Now your pressure switch, of course, that's what is going to kick that's what's going to signal the tank to cut off and on. So then electricity comes out of the pressure switch down to a control box, and then from the control box it will go down into the well itself. So obviously we don't have our pump in yet, and so therefore we don't have the electrical connection that goes from the control box and down to the pump. Now this is the well here. So this is where we will drop our pump down into. So what I set up is kind of a main manifold, and the manifold is kind of water has to go a couple of different ways in this thing, in the system. And so what's going to happen is water is going to come from the pump into here. From here, it's going to go down and fill the pressure tank. This is a 40-gallon tank. Now the pressure tank is gonna pressurize the system. Water's gonna come back. It's gonna go up. Got my pressure gauge, my pressure switch, and a relief valve. Now, then this system, as it pressurizes, it's going to come down, it's going to fill this, which goes off and out to service the pastures. I branched off right here and put a frost-free hydrant, which will be really nice and handy. But this system should work really well. I do recommend putting a cutoff at the pressure tank, because I have had to work on these things before, and if you've got a leak or something, then you've got to drain. You've got to get all the water out of your tank in order to cut the line and start working on it. But if you go ahead and you put a switch here, or a cutoff, then all that has to drain out of the line is what's in these PEX tubes. So your manifold is kind of the nuts and bolts of the whole thing. This is, I have made these things out of copper, I've made them out of PVC, and this one is made out of galvanized steel. So you do want to make sure and use galvanized and not black pipe. If you use black pipe, it will rust out and cause you problems. So what your manifold does is it's a central place where it houses all of your important stuff. So like I said, you got your pressure switch or pressure gauge. This is going to be important so that you can watch and see if you've got leaks. You can make sure that you've got your pressure switch set correctly. So you definitely want to have a pressure switch on your manifold. You got your pressure switch, which is it's a have-to thing if you're going to use a pump like this. And then this is a relief valve. So it's set at 75 psi. So what happens is if the pressure in the system gets too high, it's going to open this valve, and then it'll squirt out the excess outside the building, so that you don't risk rupturing your pipes or your connections or whatever. So the manifold is really cool. And like I said, I've built these out of PVC, copper. This one is out of galvanized steel. Should last a lifetime. I'll show you guys where we're going out to service the pastures. So we took it from these PEX connections to PEX to PVC. SharkBite does make a PVC connection. SharkBites, the normal SharkBites will connect CPVC, copper, and then PEX. You have to buy, they have a white rim instead of the tan rim, and that white means it goes on PEX. So this is like an example. So we took it from PEX to PVC. This is an 1.5-inch line that comes out, and that 1.5-inch line is going to go all over our property, and we're going to have hydrants all over the place so that we can rotationally graze and fill up water tanks and so forth. So this system should really help us out. I feel like this well house is super neat and clean. It's very tight and snug, shouldn't freeze up here. I set a shelf and put some. I put these little baskets up. These this well house is very close to where we work cows, and so we're always scrambling around trying to find our syringes and needles and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna actually keep all the stuff centrally located out here. All this will go away. This is all stuff that I'm still using. Some screws. There's nails in the coffee can. That's Sam's toy because he's been out here playing. Got some drill bits and some well parts. So all that stuff will eventually will go back to the shop, and then up here on this shelf will be things like ivermectin and things that I can iodine and stuff that I use all the time that I want to store and keep handy. And then I'll keep needles and syringes and things of that nature over here. I did put a deadbolt and a lock on here, and I reinforced the deadbolt with that piece of steel. So it would not be easy to get this door open. I mean, you could, I suppose, if you're a thief, it's easy to get into anything. You could always break the glass, but it'll keep an honest person out. And the question is why would you want to keep why do you want to keep people out? Well, things like these PEX pieces, they're about $20 a piece, and so it's a good idea to keep stuff like that out of reach. A project like this water well is really satisfying, especially when you sit back and you look at everything that you've accomplished. Back in November, we drilled this well. It was 260 feet deep, and we got really good water. Next was getting the slab framed up and getting everything roughed in. I've got some 2x6s that I cut to the appropriate length. So you want to make sure, if you're not putting this on a slope, you want to make sure and get this thing nice and square and level. I poured that slab by hand. It was, I believe, 44 bags of concrete, 6x6 slab, and that was a back-breaking day. All winter, I've kind of pieced the building together in my shop. It's 6x6 by 7 feet tall, and then I pitched the roof. It was sheeted, insulated, and then we did a cedar board and batten, and the exterior turned out, I just think, awesome. We had to do electric. We had to plumb in all the water and build the manifold, get everything in working order, and soon we'll have these water to all these different pastures, which is just going to be amazing. And so I really can't be more pleased with how this project turned out. And a lot of people take advantage, or take for granted, I guess, the importance of water. When you hook onto a city water supply, it's just there, and you just you don't think about it until you don't have it, until a water main busts or something freezes. You never sit back and you don't ever think about the water, where it's coming from, how you get it, and so forth. And on the farm here, we put a lot of emphasis on water. This is our 4th water well, and we all 4 of them produce very good quality water, and then we also have 2 water meters. And so we have an abundance of water on the farm, but it's so important for us because we raise cattle and we have livestock, and we have a backup plan for a backup plan, with our water situation. And I feel as though when this project is complete, we're going to have just an amazing water source that we're going to have piped to all these different places on the property, and it's going to add a lot of value to our place. Hope you enjoyed watching and following along. Please subscribe for future content, hit that like, and share it to your friends.